The movie opens with Melissa preparing a cake to celebrate her anniversary. Melissa and her boyfriend Carter have been dating for the last 5 years. Despite all her efforts, Carter sees the cake but doesn't seem to remember what the occasion is. This deeply disappoints Melissa. Carter, however, lies that he was just joking about forgetting the anniversary. To try and save his face, he gives her a small box which Melissa hopes is an engagement ring. She is, however, disappointed even more when she opens it only to see a small piece of rock inside. This leads her to start complaining about how Carter has never shown her any sign of ever marrying her for the 5 years they have been together. Carter tells her it's because he was never planning on marrying her in the first place. He tells her he is bored with her and he wants them to break up. This hurts Melissa so much, and she tells Carter to leave her house. She isn't, however, planning on letting the cake go to waste. Plus, she gets to keep the engagement piece of rock or whatever that was supposed to be. Melissa spends the rest of the week crying and rolling in her misery after the breakup. She spends her time sleeping and she has no energy even to clean her apartment. Her best friend Leslie visits her to try and pull her out of this situation. Leslie works in the tech industry. They start going through her college photos together. They come across a certain photo, but she can't remember who took it. Attached to the photo is also a heart shape. Leslie tells her the photo was probably taken by one of the numerous guys who were in love with her back in college. Her best friend's company seems to cheer her up a bit, where she even agrees to accompany her to the gym the next day. They agree that she isn't going to waste any more of her time crying over her ex, who was just dead weight to her. The next day, the girls arrive at the gym. Leslie wastes no time in making her friend feel at home and begin her session. While she's in the middle of it, however, a guy startles her when he calls her by name. When she asks how he knew her name yet they have never met, he tells her that he is the gym instructor, and he got her name from the guest list when her friend signed her in. They quickly get to know each other, where he introduces himself as Trey, and even offers her a private training session with no strings attached. When she sees the hesitance in her eyes, he offers to bring her drinking water as she thinks about his offer. Leslie notices this development from a distance and quickly takes this chance to gossip about what just happened. She encourages Melissa to accept the guy's offer, as this would help her move on from her breakup much quicker. Trey shows Melissa around the gym and later guides her through her first training session as her personal trainer. By the end of it, Melissa is so psyched up that she ends up signing for a gym membership. Before they leave, Leslie mentions that he looks familiar. He brushes off the idea by saying that he volunteers for charity programs, so maybe she saw him courtesy of one of those. The ladies leave after agreeing that Melissa will officially start her sessions the next day. On their way to the car, however, Leslie can't stop blubbering about how hot the gym instructor is. The scene then cuts to a gallery. We learn that Melissa works as a curator in this gallery where she sells paintings. A gentleman walks into the gallery and starts having a look at the paintings on the wall. Melissa goes to explain a painting that seems to have caught his eye. As she explains, it is clear that the gentleman knows a great deal about the painting, even more than Melissa herself. The man introduces himself as Adam. The tension between them clearly shows that they like each other despite being total strangers. Adam tells her that he hopes to meet her again. Being the owner of the gallery, Melissa tells him she's there most of the time. The next day at the gym, Trey asks to take Melissa's photo. When she hesitates, he convinces her that he isn't going to post it anywhere but only keep it in a photo album for the purpose of tracking her progress at the gym, the before and after album. He later goes on his knee, and this seems to have Melissa confused for a moment as she doesn't know what to expect. He gifts her a fitness tracker and proceeds to put it on her wrist. Melissa thanks him, and we see the obsession in Trey's eyes for her. Trey offers to set up the tracker for her with her phone. He asks her to do some cardio as he gets on with the process in his office. While there, he proceeds to connect his phone with the tracker and her phone as well. She walks in on him as he's just completing the process, but she doesn't suspect anything. They walk back to the gym where they meet Leslie. She proceeds to point out a guy who is busy training. She tells Melissa that the guy would be a suitable match for her. This makes Trey aware that Leslie is available in the market, and he gets jealous when the girls start checking the guy out. He is, however, pleased when Melissa tells Leslie that she is only there to train. When Melissa and Trey are alone again, Trey continues to use his wits to try and get her to open up and trust him. She tells him about her previous relationship and how it ended after investing in it for 5 long years. She ends up telling him a great deal about herself and even the fact that she is afraid of heights. About the latter, Trey offers to take her to another section of the gym where she can deal with her fear of heights. All these in an effort to pull her in and get her to trust him and win her over. While she's here with Trey trying to get to the top with great difficulty, Leslie finds them and gets angry with Trey for endangering Melissa's life. At the gallery, Adam meets Melissa again. He tells her that he has decided to buy the painting he saw last time he visited the gallery. He proceeds to ask her to go for a date with him that coming Saturday, to which Melissa readily accepts. When he leaves, she is left blushing and smiling to herself. The next morning, Leslie calls Melissa asking her to give her a ride to work since her own car has issues. This causes Melissa to be late for the gym. Trey acts all disappointed when she explains why she is late. He insists that her friend will derail her progress at the gym, but this is just an act to try and create a rift between the two friends. He then proceeds to give her a spare key to the gym, lying that all the other members have it, in case one needs to train when the gym is closed. Melissa innocently accepts it. When Saturday finally arrives, Melissa and Adam finally go on their dinner date. They end up finding out that they have a lot in common. They both recently broke up with their longtime partners who didn't give a damn about them. The date goes really well, actually, more than they expected. Adam then takes Melissa home, where he tells her that he would like to see her yet again. As they are kissing goodbye, we suddenly zoom on Trey, who is stalking them from his car parked just a distance from Melissa's house. The next day at the gym, Trey continues to press Melissa for information on what she was up to the previous night. Innocently, she goes on to tell him about her date with Adam and how much she is into him. She even discloses that they have another date planned for the next Saturday. This gets Trey jealous and angry, though he doesn't show it to Melissa. Back at the gallery, Adam pays Melissa a visit. She's busy sorting some new arrival of paintings. She tells him she might have to work until late that night. He offers to cook dinner for her back at her place that night if she doesn't mind. After cooking dinner, Adam and Melissa continue getting to know each other and bonding. They end up making love. Melissa's tracker, however, sends Trey a message of her increased heart rate while she's getting busy with Adam. This is the last straw on Trey now, as he sees his chances of being with Melissa slipping away. He sits on his bed seething in anger. He creeps on Melissa the next morning as she leaves for the gym. He tells her that he only wanted to walk together to the gym. Adam comes from Melissa's house to bring her phone, which she had forgotten on her way out. Melissa introduces them to each other, but it's obvious that Trey is not pleased. Melissa continues to blubber about how much of a great person Adam is when they get to the gym. This seems to only make Trey angrier. He increases the pace on Melissa's treadmill and rushes to his office to cool down his jealousness. We see him take some unknown pills. Perhaps they are for something psychotic, which by now we have begun to see. When he gets back to Melissa, it is apparent that she is completely worn out. She continues praising Adam. Trey increases the pace of the treadmill even more. Melissa's energy runs out and she faints. When she finally regains her consciousness, Trey is there for her. He reassures her that he would never let anything happen to her. But the side eye from Melissa suggests that she thinks otherwise. Melissa and her best friend Leslie meet up later. From their conversation, we learn that Melissa had a lot of admirers back in college. There's one particular guy who used to slip heart-shaped notes under her room, but she can't remember him. The friends, however, don't part ways in good terms. This happens when Melissa tells her friend that she has to leave abruptly because she has a lot of tasks to achieve that day and then prepare for the next day's gym session. Leslie, however, answers that she can skip the gym for a day since it's not such a big deal. This doesn't sit well with Melissa, who feels that her friend is trying to derail her progress, yet her life has started taking good shape after her nasty breakup. Looks like Trey's tactics to create a rift between the friends is starting to bear fruits. The next day at the gym, Melissa arrives at the gym quite early. She gives her phone to Trey to put it for her in the cabinet, and she leaves. A message from Adam comes before Trey can put it into the cabinet. The message tells Melissa to meet Adam that night. Trey answers on Melissa's behalf, saying that she can't make it that night, but asks Adam to meet her at the gym the next day. He then deletes those messages and blocks Adam's contact as well. Adam arrives at the gym the next morning as he was told in the message. He, however, doesn't find Melissa there, and her phone also doesn't go through. While there, Trey goes on to give him a weightlifting challenge. When it's Adam's turn, however, Trey sneaks into Adam's phone and blocks Melissa's contacts. He then turns on loud music and pretends not to hear Adam when he calls out to him to take off the weights after he's done. Adam struggles to get the weights off by himself and almost smashes his own head in the process. He leaves the gym furious. Melissa continues hoping that Adam will call her, but that doesn't happen. At night, an unknown caller calls her phone twice without talking. Well, your guess is as good as mine. The next day, she goes to the gym and Trey is surprised when she says she wants to cancel her gym membership. He tells her he will have to take her final gym stats and progress before she can leave. He, however, uses this moment to try and forcefully make her change her decision. This creepy behavior from him rattles her feathers and she forces her way out. We later cut to a scene where Melissa is walking home in the evening when she passes near her gallery and finds a group of people gathered outside. She gets inside and realizes that it has been vandalized and everything destroyed. She hopelessly sits on the floor and calls her friend Leslie for comfort. The next day, Melissa's ex, Carter, is at her place. He says he has come to take the last box of his stuff. He also tells Melissa to tell her psychotic new boyfriend to stay away from him and stop sending him threatful messages through her phone, or else he will call the police. Melissa is confused. She doesn't believe that Adam could be guilty of such creepy stuff using her own phone. It also puzzles her that he hasn't contacted her for days, so why send such obsessive messages to her ex? Luckily, she has a tech-conversant friend in Leslie. Leslie takes Melissa's laptop and hacks into Melissa's ex's phone. She confirms that indeed Carter has been receiving creepy messages coming from Melissa's phone number. Leslie tries to make her remember anyone else who might have had access to her phone recently. Melissa remembers that Trey has had her phone a few times, but she doesn't think it's him. Her friend offers to go to the gym and snoop around while Melissa goes to the gallery to finish up an exhibition despite the recent vandalism. Before leaving, she leaves her a few computer commands that might help tracking the culprit responsible for sending the strange messages using her number. When she gets to the gym, Leslie sneaks into Trey's office and starts going through his stuff. She finds his pills in one drawer. In another, she finds the before and after photo album. She sees one picture of Trey when he was still back in college and he was still fat and young. She remembers him now. She can't believe that it's the same person. Just then, someone grabs her by the neck from behind. It's Trey. After the exhibition, Melissa tries to call Leslie a number of times, but she doesn't pick. She then picks the computer instructions that Leslie left behind and she fires them into her computer. She gets an IP address from the gym that has been synced with her fitness tracker. She puts one and one together and realizes that Trey is behind everything. She disconnects the tracker before heading for the gym. Trey immediately gets the notification that the tracker has been disconnected. He knows that his secret is out of the bag now. Just then, he gets a reminder that Melissa and Adam are supposed to meet that evening at 10 p.m. in the gallery. We then cut to Adam looking for Melissa at the gallery. The door is open, so he decides to enter. A shadow quickly crosses behind him. Someone else is also inside the gallery. A few seconds later, Trey knocks him out from behind. Melissa gets to the gym and finds Leslie inside one of the lockers. She is already passed out and Melissa calls 911. However, she is halfway through the call when she hears someone whistling from the other side of the gym. She leaves the phone on the table and runs away to hide. Ray finds the phone on the table and hears the 911 operator saying they have tracked the phone's location and dispatched an ambulance plus the police. He starts searching for Melissa in the other side of the gym, where we also see Adam tied up. Here, Trey reveals to Melissa who he really is. His longtime crush from college. He tells her how much he has loved her since college days and even offers to kill Adam so that they can remain as lovers without anyone else in the picture. Melissa then gets a chance and hits Trey in the upper abdomen. He falls and passes out. Melissa uses this chance to free Adam. The honeymoon is short-lived, however, when Trey gets back up and hits the already injured Adam. He puts Melissa on the floor and starts again about how she will only belong to him and blah blah. Melissa manages to grab a nearby dumbbell stealthily and knocks him out hard this time round. The police and ambulance then arrive and take control of the situation from there. After a few days, we see Leslie and Melissa in her gallery, which has already been renovated. From their conversation, we learn that Trey was apprehended and sentenced to 5 years in jail. Adam then walks in with flowers, which he gives to Melissa. Leslie then picks a heart-shaped note from an envelope on the floor. She asks Melissa whether she is concerned about the notes, to which she answers that she isn't. The movie ends with a scene of Trey behind bars. He's surrounded by numerous heart shapes cut from paper strewn all over the floor. The credits then roll. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more of this content. Like and talk to us in the comment section. See you in the next movie.